What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to the Meditations for Star Wars Shatterpoint Battle Reports for the one we just did, which was Luminara and Mace Windu versus the double date, Vader and Padme Amidala. And yeah, I mean, it was a victory for Mace and Luminara there, and I just felt like I just had no agency for so much of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You took the first struggle in basically 2 actions.
It was ridiculously quick.
I had nothing to respond to that because basically it was like I took out one guy and then Mace just activates and goes and takes out my duder and
Yeah, Mace going up and saying, okay, I'm going to activate. Luminara is going to get a little extra movement. Also, I'm going to take this point, and then Luminara is going to take this other point.
Yep.
Taking 2 points on opposite sides of the board.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know how anyone can argue that I had any agency in that regard because I literally had 2 actions. Like, I took the point with the 501st, and then I went up with the with Ahsoka at that point, and then just lost it. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I had no way to respond to you taking it that quickly. Second struggle, I mean, I did decently in the second struggle, and then the third struggle it just came down to where the priority role was going. Like, I don't really feel like I have much really to talk about strategy wise in this one.
Yeah, it was kind of over very quickly before much strategy started.
Well, let's see here. I have 3 activations. So this was a 10 activation game.
Yep.
This game was over in 10 activations. We went through 3 struggles in 10 activations.
Wild.
And yeah, like so much of that game, like Pon's just coming in, like hitting like a friggin' truck.
Oh,
which
Pon's
was great
with the
for
sucker
him.
punch. That's the first time I've looked at his expertise conversion in melee, and that is ridiculous. It feels like a misprint. It feels like it should be the other way around.
It's not often you actually want a clone in melee, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that was a very interesting game. Like I'm really kind of struggling to talk about that one because I don't feel like it really came down to poor decision making on any part. Like it kind of felt like the way the priority token was rolling and the way some of the dice rolls were going. Like this was not a game we really played. This was a game that the dice and the RNG played.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my takeaway on it. Like,
yes.
I'm sure people might disagree with me on this, but yeah, 10 activations to get through this whole thing. And I mean, you just got a great string of activations with your cards, right? Like,
I think there was obviously, like, I did have Luminara looking ahead and allowing me to plan a little bit extra on what I was going to be doing. But really, it came down to, do I like this or do I like Luminara better? There was not a crazy amount of decision making.
Well, and the amount of times you were able to put like that extra movement from Luminara just kind of really let you position around the board as well.
Her identity did work today.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. Like,
having Luminara go from I'm over here and almost dead to standing on that point fully healthy without doing an action.
Yeah, no, like she had a huge impact on the game without even really doing anything on the game. And that was kind of wild. I mean, unfortunately, my 501st got paired against Mace Windu, and I mean, what are you going to do about that, right?
That's a little unfortunate. He gets a lot done.
Yeah, and because you were able to counter deploy me, like that was just always going to kind of happen there.
And him being Shatterpointed twice in those 10 activations of the game.
Yeah, like you got a really good string of activations that really let you get the work done that you needed to get done there. And it was really hard for me to counter it. Unfortunately, at the end there, when I went into Sabe, it's like, well, I don't want Sabe. I was hoping for either of my supports, like either the Handmaidens or the Clone Troopers, or I was hoping for Amidala. Because Amidala would have allowed me to move some people. So like what I could have done is like I could have moved these 2 ladies and try to get them like up here. Oh no, I think they might have actually had to like go that way, but take that point from me because I think
that's good. Yeah,
I think it might have worked. We'd have to actually like measure it, and then like maybe I can take somebody out over here, right, and do something a little bit more. Ideally, I was really hoping for like the 501st or something like that, as weird as that sounds. But I pulled the 2 people that I just did not want to pull, which is really kind of unfortunate. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that when it really boils down.
Yeah.
Very violent game as well.
Incredibly violent.
Like we saw some crazy rolls on both sides of the table there, and I still question my defense dice because I roll a lot of fails on my defense. I'm definitely way above the 1/3 of the results on that one. But no, all in all, it was really well done. Like your strategy kind of worked out there. You were able to get a whole bunch of movement in this game, which was key.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my attrition was not able to keep up with you at all. Not that it really mattered because I didn't really have a lot of options for attrition.
Yeah, we all kind of came into the middle, fought each other a bunch, and everyone was dazed. No one enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, that was a huge scrum in the middle. It kept going back and forth, all that. And unfortunately, the last objective just being pulled was not really the one that it really didn't favor me. And you were, I thought I was in a good position early on with like the two troopers over there. And then it's like, well, Pawns comes up, smack.
Yeah.
And then Mace, it's like, can't really respond to that, right? But overall, I mean, it was an interesting game. I feel like every character that wanted to do something got to do something.
Yes.
Which was kind of cool. I'm very happy with Padawan Ahsoka. She came in. She did some fun stuff against. I think it was Pawns.
She came over, beat the crap out of Pawns,
and then beat the
pushed
crap
him
out of
off
Pawns again,
and then beat the crap out of Pawns again.
Yeah. She just spent her game chasing after Pawns, just punching him in the face there. And I mean, she did well. The handmaidens, I think, did well for me. Sobe did okay, but I'm looking back at him. I didn't make nearly as many of attacks as I wanted to in this game. I spent a lot of time just trying to get into better positions, and it didn't really work. And unfortunately, Vader was not able to bully the way he wanted to either. And
no, I think he ran into kind of too many really good targets. There were too many things I had that were winning me a lot of points in too many different locations, and he was kind of in a position in the middle to kind of, I'm scoring everything else.
Well, I think one of the problems is, especially when you get into an attrition-style piece, with how fast the first struggle went, I didn't actually get an opportunity to really start bringing you down and do a lot of damage into you, which meant that we went into the second struggle, and you were virtually healthy. Pawns was your only wounded character. Nobody else was touched going into the second struggle.
Luminara, I think?
Oh, yeah, Luminara did take a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but she did take a little bit. But yeah, basically you were in such a great position going into the second struggle. I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to take it as a result. But I think that was by virtue of I had a good layout for it.
Yeah.
And my handmaiden's just holding this back point for so long, just kind of.
You had the punch that the Vader list tends to like towards the back half of Struggle 1. But Struggle 1 ended so quickly.
There was no back half of Struggle 1. It was front loaded, man. And I think that's kind of what got me down there. You got the momentum going so quickly in your favor that I wasn't able to get the actions into you to slow you down, and that kind of hurt. Which is it's unfortunate, but it is kind of the way things go sometimes. So either way, as always, Alex, great game. Had a lot of fun with you.
Well, great game.
And we'll definitely get some more in the future. And for everyone else, leave your comments below. Get involved in the conversation. If you want to support the channel, patreon.com/AegisFranCstudios. We'll see you next time. Happy wargaming.